Hi, everyone. My name is Ryan Hasty, and I am on the workplace technology team here in IT at Atlassian.
Hi, all. My name is Warren Shubin, and I am also on the workplace technology team at Atlassian. Thank you so much for joining episode 6 of our Lightning series, How We Built IT, Modernizing Atlassian's Own IT Service Desk. Today, we will talk about how we modernized our IT service desk by leveraging the power of Jira Service Management with Confluence and Help.
We've got a lot to cover today, and we are excited to share our journey with you. We'll start by discussing what the problem was with our old way of doing things and our approach on addressing this problem. We'll go over our guiding principles and then demo the different facets of the new solution. You will walk away from this with an understanding of how Jira Service Management, along with Confluence and Help, can greatly simplify the help-seeking experience while making it easier for teams to provide help. We'll wrap up with some resources and next steps for you before we dive into the Q&A. Let's do this. Atlassian has grown quickly over the past couple of years by the thousands, and our IT team is no exception. As our various IT teams grew, so did the number of service desk-enabled projects and Slack channels. Each IT team had their own service desk and Slack channel. This allowed each IT team to customize their workflows and tailor their request types to be very specific to the services that they support inside the business. But it also meant that our internal customers, our staff, were having a lot of trouble finding where to get help. We were relying on word of mouth in our staff base to get people to the right team and the right service desk. And because we were growing so quickly, the cracks with this approach were starting to show. We were hearing from our new hires that it was confusing to find where to go for help, and that often people knew the service they needed help with, but not the name of the team that supports it or where their service desk was located. Making this even more confusing, our split support model means that different teams within IT were supporting different aspects of a system, leading to tickets being redirected to different teams within the same department. Finally, we also had an IT leadership team who knew that to make meaningful decisions, they needed great data. But with every IT team providing support in different ways, with different fields and workflows and project configurations, it was incredibly difficult to get anything meaningful out of IT-wide statistics. So we embarked upon a journey. The project team agreed to these key tenets. Staff tend to know the service that they need help with more than they know the team that supports it. This isn't always true, but it's true more often than not. Our customers, our staff, should not have to know the name of the team that they need help from in order to get that help. Despite IT being made up of 36 sub-teams, we are still one IT, and we should have one entry point for support for our staff. Getting help should be easy, and we would design a frictionless and customer-focused experience. Complexity is fine on the back end, but it should be hidden where possible from the customer. We would build a single entry point for all of IT support in each of the key support mediums, chat, ticket, and Confluence for self-service and knowledge base, so that we can meet our staff where they are. Agreeing on these key goals as a project team helped inform many of the decisions that we would make when architecting the final solution. In summary, we wanted to present staff with a single entry point for all IT help, have all IT teams work in the same way and speak the same language with handling requests, and build a scalable solution that we could add more services and teams to over time. Okay, now comes the good stuff. Let's begin. Everything that you're going to see today was done 100% with out-of-the-box features. No add-ons or scripting, just Jira Service Management, Confluence, Help, and Slack. Since each part of IT had its own service desk portal and request types, we began by analyzing the request types in each portal and the issues received in each project and grouped them into higher level buckets. We looked for any commonalities. As an example, basically every team was handling access requests for their respective systems. Rather than having very descriptive and specific request types, since they had to work across all of IT, we grouped all of these requests together in order to reach our goal of minimizing the amount of request types that staff would have to look through in order to raise a request. Internally, we also knew that chat support was becoming more and more popular, and we would need to keep our request types and fields simple in order to enable a seamless chat to ticket experience. More on that later. We are always iterating on our request types based on the language that our internal customers are using. If we find that we called something a data request, but they actually had in mind, I need a report, we try to cover the keywords that they have in mind to help them easily match things up. As you can see, we have a field called system, and this is really one of two key fields that we added to the project. We identified every service that IT provides support for and added them into this field. Each service has instructions for our first level team to help them triage to the appropriate queue. Based on what service the customer selects, the team that picks up the ticket for triage will review the service documentation and either resolve the request if a runbook exists or triage it to the right IT team's queue. All of this is invisible to the customer. We are one IT team, and this way staff don't need to know the name of the team that they need help from. There are always a few services that are a little trickier to name and define. For every service that we added, we ensured that we didn't get too granular. We used customer-facing concepts of services rather than naming everything that IT teams wanted to track. As an example, a customer doesn't usually care that a problem exists in a particular module of your service. They just want to raise a ticket against your service. They know it by the URL or by the name, but not all of its moving parts. So everything in this field is either a URL or a service name, and it's a customer-facing and customer-focused service so that staff can easily search and find the right one. Another challenge we needed to solve was how to bring so many different teams supporting so many different services together into one service desk-enabled project and make sure that tickets made their way to the right team. You've already seen the service field that we added. The other field that ties everything together is the support team field. We created this field in our Jira configuration as a cascading field, and this allows our IT teams to easily move a request between team queues within a couple of clicks. Each of the values in this field maps one-to-one to a queue on the left-hand side. So when a ticket is set to a particular team value, it moves into that team's queue to be picked up by their next available agent. Using a combination of the service and support team fields gave us some great data insights too. And as we went live and started to see the requests coming in, we shifted our focus to building up our self-service offerings for the most common questions and support requests that we were seeing.
And this is exactly where Confluence comes in. For Go Live, we updated all of our most popular knowledge base articles, which we knew were popular through Confluence Analytics. For this stream of the project, we were focused on the search experience, knowing that most staff prefer to search their error message rather than navigating a page tree. As we created knowledge base articles for staff, we added labels liberally to ensure that keywords and search terms that our customers were likely to use would present the appropriate page results. We also generally took the approach of one knowledge base page per 4 user guides and multiple very specifically titled pages for error messages, 1 per error, to really help with that search experience and keeping articles short and punchy where possible. We then connected our Confluence knowledge base space for our Jira Service Management enabled project. This feature is fantastic as it proactively suggests articles to staff while they are raising their ticket in the portal. In terms of ticket prevention, this is the best time and place to provide self-service guides and troubleshooting articles to staff and prevent a ticket from needing to be raised with IT. We had the data to show that our internal staff were keen to try to solve problems themselves and could see almost half the company visiting our knowledge base space at least once a month. Confluence Analytics gave us the confidence that our ongoing investment in quality user guides and troubleshooting articles was well worth it. We have an iterative mindset on our projects, and so after Go Live, we shifted our attention to analyzing the support requests we were receiving that were not being solved with articles, or where an article was linked by our support team but did not solve the customer's issue. Using this data-driven approach, we were able to focus on one error or topic at a time and identify the biggest opportunity areas for documentation. Because we could sort our tickets by service and support team, and all support for IT was coming in through one entry point, we could look at trends of questions coming in that weren't being answered clearly enough on a KB article. We would then make an edit and measure the following weeks to see if it solved the issues.
So we've covered how our staff get help through Jira and how Confluence integrates to provide self-service options in the form of knowledge base articles and user guides. The next challenge that we wanted to solve was how to provide chat support in a way that would be a great experience for staff, while ensuring that we get all the benefits of tracking chat support as tickets in Jira, including CSAT surveys and general reporting on volume and trends. We knew that staff more and more were preferring to ask for help over chat rather than raising a ticket. We needed to design a help implementation that would work at scale for a large number of IT teams while providing one chat channel to the company for help. Now, just a quick recap, the internal support landscape for IT before this initiative was that teams in IT had their own chat channels and staff had to know the right one to go to for help from a particular team. Also, some teams were too small or geographically concentrated to offer meaningful chat support internally. The solution we landed on looked like this. Help allowed us to have a single channel for support that staff could visit, again hitting our goal of not forcing our staff to know the name of the team that they need help from in IT. Just come to help-IT and ask your question, we'll get it to the right place. We created one private Slack channel for every team queue value in Jira so that each team can receive requests triaged to them in real time and only focus on those without having to look through the noise of other teams' requests. It cannot be overstated how much of a departure this is from how teams worked before the rollout. Let's see it in action. The experience for our internal customers is to head to Help IT and ask their question in chat. Within a few minutes, they would receive a threaded response from our support team, which helps to keep the channel clean and easy to follow. And you'll see that this is also important for help in creating the ticket. Part of the power of chat support is that things just happen faster. Agents don't like sitting around waiting for answers to get the information that's required to help the customer. And customers don't like having to check their inbox for notifications and wait for the back and forth that this kind of email ping pong causes. Help really unlocks the real-time aspect of getting help in a scalable way for us. And both our customers and our agents love it as it speeds up resolution and reduces the amount of requests waiting on more information and clogging up the queue. Our IT service desk team, who are our first responders, would then jump on any chat request in this channel, ask clarifying questions, use the triage materials, and then create a ticket through Help using a form. Help supports multiple forms, but we decided to keep our request form simple and just have the one for chat-initiated requests. This helps keep our response times low and reduces complexity for our support team creating the tickets in the channel. After the agent responds in the chat thread and has all the required information to create and triage the ticket, they react with the ticket emoji and fill in the form on behalf of the customer. As shown, when we talked about the Jira configuration, Help displays the key fields that tie everything together: affected service and support team. Because it's the agent creating the ticket through Help, we set up a Jira automation to bypass the triage workflow step, as the triage is actually happening during the ticket creation through chat. The real power of Help kicks in here with its direct integration with Jira Service Management. Help creates the ticket, adds a message in the thread to the customer to let them know the ticket number, and most importantly, it keeps the chat thread completely up to date by syncing everything in two directions, from Slack to Jira and from Jira to Slack. If someone chats in the thread, it will add it to the Jira ticket comments so that we have a record of the interaction. If someone comments on the Jira ticket, it will also sync back to the chat thread, which gives us the added benefit of real-time notifications to customers and faster responses if we need more information from them to proceed with their request. So this is what the complete solution looks like. As discussed, we have a single entry point for help seekers in Slack and Jira Service Management to ask a question that gets routed to the appropriate team. It couldn't be easier or more consistent. It's not only infinitely easier to get help, it's also much easier for the teams providing support, as everything is tracked and synchronized, and tickets can be easily moved between team queues within just a few clicks. Within the first 6 months since we rolled this out, we had received and triaged 26,684 requests from staff. Around 12,000 of these were through chat and about 14,000 through Jira Service Management's customer portal. 3,800 monthly unique views in our knowledge base and self-service Confluence space. And we achieved a CSAT average of 4.94 out of 5. Our staff loves having a single place to go to get help from IT. They love that they have a single unified user experience, even though there are more than 30 teams working behind the scenes, working together to help them out. And they love that we provide options and meet them with well-polished and scalable solutions wherever they prefer to get help, Jira, Slack, or Confluence. Here's a quote from our Chief Information Officer in Atlassian. A goal of mine has always been to operate as one IT, to build a scalable solution for all Atlassians, and we really delivered. Having every IT team work together consistently increased our operational efficiency and resulted in greater experiences for our employees and provided us deeper visibility into key metrics. I couldn't be happier with the end result, and the feedback I've received has been overwhelmingly positive.
Only 6 months out from launch, and we are already enhancing our service management solutions with Atlassian Analytics, Forms for Jira, and Jira Service Management for business teams across the organization, not just within IT. Atlassian Analytics will give us great dashboards for IT leadership. Forms for Jira has allowed us to have custom forms and ask for specific information from the customer during ticket creation, depending on the service they need help with, which is a real time saver for everyone. As Atlassian continues to grow, we have a scalable solution for teams that provide internal support and can offer what we have built to more than just IT teams. We believe that our employees should have a unified, streamlined service management experience, and we solve for that. The next step is to not have your employees have to know the department they need help from. Now, let's get on to your questions. We received a number of questions from you all during registration. We're going to do our best to answer as many as possible before we wrap up the webinar today. So let's get started with our first question. What size team did it take to do this?
Well, we had a fairly small core team size, project managers, business analysts, and then a person to build on each of the products, Jira, Help, Confluence, to cover each of those entry points. The core team was probably around 8 people for the majority of the design and build.
How long did it take to implement?
It was about 6 months, which included the design and the project framework, along with the delivery plan, buy-in with stakeholders, and we also created some IT champions who helped with the change management.
And Ryan, what advice would you have for others considering something similar?
Just do it, start. With Jira and Help, you can spin up a single entry point for support out of the box. Confluence is so straightforward with its out-of-the-box knowledge base. Tying it to the JSM help portal is even easier. It's really never been easier to integrate Atlassian products for a holistic service desk solution. What was the biggest challenge, Warren?
In order to embrace consistency, some teams just had to let go of some very unique and highly customized service desks. We always anchored back, though, to getting help shouldn't be hard and the need for simplicity and consistency for scalability.
Cool. What would you do differently?
We should have done it sooner. We had to be very thoughtful with so much organizational change to take into account. Thanks to the flexibility of Atlassian products, though, and our ability to deliver so quickly, we got it done in less than 6 months. Hey, Ryan, what about for teams who don't use Slack or who don't even have chat support at all?
Yeah, so Jira Service Management is really at the core of the solution, and it's a requirement. But you could use this without any of the chat support side of things. Help for us was an integral part of the solution, though. Like many companies, a significant number of our staff were using chat at the core of their communications. So Help integration really allowed us to meet our customers where they were coming from. And again, it keeps the requests synced with tickets in JSM, which is super handy. Chat support brought so many benefits for everyone, so we would strongly recommend considering chat as part of your service offering. But if you're not quite ready for chat, Jira Service Management and Confluence Knowledge Base can stand on their own and also together.
Thanks, Ryan. So thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you being here with us for this Lightning Talk episode. Everything we've demoed to you today is available to you now. We encourage you to think about your service desk landscape. Put yourselves in the shoes of people seeking help. Ask yourselves how you can leverage our tools to make scalable solutions that not only make life easier for people trying to get help, but also for the teams that actually provide it. Have an amazing day, and don't forget to check out the rest of the Jira Service Management Lightning series for more tips on how to boost your service management.